Hi and welcome back. It's the 21st of May 2018. It's just coming up to 1 PM London time. I've taken some early trades today simply based on the price action, and these trades unusually early. A little under an hour ago I took these trades, and I just wanted to run through these and see if we could get a video shot of how these play out. So you can see we're looking at the Australian dollar Japanese yen at the moment. Like I say, I took this about an hour ago as it came through one of our entry points. And again, like I say, I wouldn't normally start this early because we often see sideways drift at this time of day before the New York Open. But this is purely based on the price action throughout the Asian session here and through the London session during the morning. And taking these trades, it's not that I've got any inside knowledge or any expectations at all. It's purely because of that price action, the earlier price action. And taking any of these trades, I don't know if it's going to win or lose. The only thing we can be sure of is that the price is going to do something, as I think it was Mark Douglas said. So take these trades that have hit the entry criteria and just see how they go. But I'm quite willing, there's 3 trades I've got on, I'm quite willing to take those 3 losses if that's the way it goes, and it wouldn't be a problem. Okay, I'll quickly run through these. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. I took this back here and I've taken it long, looking for further upside movement. Got my stop loss in here, you can see. US dollar, Japanese yen. I've taken this long too, looking for further upside movement. And the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. It's all about the yens at the moment. We're seeing some weakness in the yens right across the board. And I've taken this Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Again, looking for further upside movement. So that one there I took at 50. I got in that at 50 as it came through our entry criteria. US dollar Japanese yen, I took that at 30. And the Australian dollar Japanese yen, I took that at 79. So like I say, 3 trades, all of them long, looking for further upside movement based on this Japanese weakness. So I'll pause for a moment and I'll come back if there's any significant changes, or if I take any more trades at all. Okay, so I'll pause for now. Right, back for an update. Not seeing a great deal of movement just yet, but hopefully these Japanese yen overnight runs may continue. We're seeing some of that weakness still continuing here. So I'll just run through these 3 trades, just still holding the 3 trades that I mentioned in the early part of this video, in the first part of this video. So you can see the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, that's moving up quite nicely now, quite strong up towards the 0.0 and showing me a bit of profit there. The US dollar, Japanese yen still going sideways. We've seen a bit of weakness on the US dollar, so that's holding that down and just causing that sideways movement at the moment. And the third trade was the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. You can see that price pulled all the way back down here. That was on a Canadian move. Almost hit my stop, but since then it's pulled back up and it's above my entry level at the moment. So again, hoping that Japanese yen weakness continues. Okay, I'll pause again for now and I'll be back if there's any change in this price action or if I take any other trades. Back again as I've taken one more trade. You can see here the US dollar, Canadian dollar came through one of our entry points and I've just taken this. Took this at 53. And I'm looking for further downside movement. Took this short looking for further downside movement. The other trades I'm still holding. AJ, you can see moving nicely into profit. I'll be locking in break even in a minute, and I'm looking for this to break that 0.0. It's gone well past the previous high of day, and it carries on climbing at the moment. If this breaks that 0.0, then I can start pushing. Hopefully, see this reach up at 20. And so the Australian dollar, Japanese yen still showing a reasonable move to the upside and looking for further upside movement. US dollar, Japanese yen, you can see I'm still in this. Price has been going sideways, and that last candle, you can see how close that came to hitting my stop. Didn't quite hit it though, so not looking great at the moment, but sticking with that. If it hits my stop, so be it. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, you can see price is still going sideways on this, just above my entry point there. And so still hanging on to that. So that's the 4 trades I'm holding at the moment. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, US dollar, Japanese yen, US dollar, Canadian dollar, and the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I'll pause again and I'll come back if there's any changes or any significant moves. Okay, a few changes since the last update, and you can see US dollar Japanese yen on this candle here. It came back and it hit my stop, so I lost 10 pips on that. And another trade that I took, US dollar Canadian dollar, that reversed back, and part of our strategy is if we take a trade at a certain level, it comes back, we'll punch out of that. So I punched out of that for a loss of 1 pip. So I'm down 11 pips at the moment. However, I've still got the Canadian dollar Japanese yen running. That's right on my entry level at the moment, just going sideways, not doing a great deal. But the one that's doing okay at the moment is the Australian dollar Japanese yen. Just gone through that 0-0 there. You can see that I've locked in 6 pips on that. And I'm just going to start moving that up now, start tracking that up with my price stop. So the Australian dollar Japanese yen moving nicely, good bit of profit showing now. And again, I'll pause for now and I'll be back shortly if there's any major changes. Okay, back with you again for another update. Australian dollar, US dollar, I took this trade, pulled back to our entry criteria, and I got in this a little while ago, just showing a little bit of profit there. Australian dollar Japanese yen, still in that, that's moving nice. It's through that 0-0, and you can see that I've actually locked in 12 pips with my price stop there. So worst case scenario, if that turns around and comes back, I'll have 12 pips on that trade. But this is where we start pushing it now. Now it's gone through that level, looking for that to move up towards the 20 where I've got my take profit. So the Australian dollar Japanese yen moving forward quite nicely. US dollar Japanese yen was one that I got stops out of. Seen that hit one of our re-entry points, so I've taken this long again, looking for further upside movement, showing a little bit of profit on that. And the US dollar CAD, I punched out of that and I didn't get back in. I could have had a re-entry on that, but I totally missed it. And Canadian dollar Japanese yen, still in this, looking for further upside movement. That was that initial trade that I got in right from the start, so still holding that. Okay, I'll pause again and I shall be back soon with another update. Back again to run through these trades that I've got open at the moment. I'm running out of time. I'll need to be out of here soon, so I'm just watching these and deciding whether to get out or whether to stay with them for a little bit longer. Just run through these quickly. Australian dollar, US dollar, still in that one, that original trade that I spoke about a little while ago, and that's showing profit. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, that's still moving up back through that 0-0 and continuing to move at the moment. US dollar, Japanese yen, I re-entered this at 20, but you can see that's still hanging around, having a bit of a problem there. Not really doing too much at all. US dollar CAD, I took a re-entry on this at 50, looking for further downside movement on that. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, just showing a little bit of profit on that. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades I've got open at the moment. Like I say, I'm running out of time, so I'll just stick with these for a little bit longer and I'll come back and let you know what the outcome is. Okay, so I'm out of all trades, I'm out of time, punched out of those trades that I had running, and I'll just run through these so that you can see which trades I took, how much I took on each one, or how much I lost on each one. I started trading early today, as I said, started at 10 past 12 this afternoon London time, and it was purely based on being able to sit down in front of the charts and seeing some good moves on the Japanese yen. And like I say, we don't know how these moves are going to play out. It's just, we take our trades when they hit the entry points that we've got, and we don't know which way those trades are going to go. The Japanese yens seemed to ease off those moves soon after I got into them. Wasn't a great deal going on, but I come out positive at the end of the day, which is the important thing, I suppose. So looking at these, Euro US dollar, I took no trades on that, there was no entry. Euro Japanese yen, didn't see any entries on that. Pound US dollar, no entries on that showing, so I took no trades. And the pound Japanese yen, there were no entry points on that, so I took no trades there. Australian dollar, US dollar, took one trade on this. I took it long as it hit one of our entry points, and I ended up taking 10 pips on that, so I punched out of that and took 10 pips. So that's a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio I got on the Australian dollar, US dollar. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, this was one of the early trades that I took, as I say, because I'd seen that early move with the Australian dollar, with the Japanese yen, saw that Japanese yen weakness, and that's what I was acting on. Took that, and that moved okay, managed to get 20 pips on that, but that ended up being the Australian dollar moving rather than the Japanese yen weakness continuing. The Australian dollar started showing strength, and that was what helped push that up there. So 24 pips made on the Australian dollar Japanese yen. US dollar Japanese yen, took two trades on this. The first one took a full stop on that, 10 pips. The second one I took a re-entry as it hit the entry criteria that we've got, and I ended up punching out of that for -5 pips. So lost 15 pips on the US dollar Japanese yen. US dollar Canadian dollar, took two trades on this. First trade, I took that as it came through one of our entry points, and I punched out. Sticking with our criteria, there's certain price action. If you see it, you just have to accept the loss straight away and just punch out of that trade, which is what I did, losing 1 pip on that. Took a second trade on that as it hit our re-entry point, and purely just running out of time, so I punched out of that, and I ended up with +6 on that. So the US dollar Canadian dollar ended up taking 5 pips positive on that, and Canadian dollar Japanese yen was the last trade that I took. And I took 5 pips on this, not a great deal, but positive anyway. So Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, took that long, looking for further upside movement, and ended up punching out of that for +5 pips. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, there was no entry criteria on that I could get, so I didn't take that. And so that's it, flat the market with +29 pips for the New York session. That gives me 1.56% on my capital, increase on my capital, and just risking 0.5%. So I'm risking 0.5% on any one trade that I take. So that's where I'll leave it for now. I'll be back soon with another video for you. And please click subscribe. If you'd like to find out more about the way we trade at the Price Action Traders Institute, you can go to my website, which is uk2asia.com. You can follow me on Twitter at uk2asia. And where more often than not I'm posting live on Twitter as I'm taking trades. And like I say, if you click subscribe, you'll get the heads up every time I post a new video. Thanks very much, and I'll see you soon.